paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery. You don't know it, but this is the third time we've started the cast in the past 3 minutes, would you say, Jason? Oh, now you have nothing to say.
I forgot to interrupt you. Sorry, I'm just so disappointed with
now
this.
Now you have nothing to say. Well, welcome in, everybody.
Emergency beer surgery here.
Jason is having a crisis over there. That's Jason Alt. I'm Corbin Hostler, and we're joined as always by DJ Johnson. Let's do a roundtable real quick. Where can people find you on the internet, and why should they care about what you have to say, DJ?
You should probably care about, I think 65% of my tweets is a good ratio. I'll round up to 66% just to say it's like 2/3 or whatever. The 1/3 that you don't need to care about is generally like me tweeting about other games that are better than Magic that you haven't played yet for some reason. Like Legends.
This is a great endorsement of yourself, yeah.
Well, like the 2/3 are very good. They're me arguing with eggs on Twitter. They're me just dunking on random companies. It's and sometimes you get cat pics too. I do post cat pictures, so like that's a solid like 16.
I've never seen you
really
post
have
a
it
cat
all
picture in my life. I've never seen you post a cat picture.
Well, that's probably because I'm blocked by you half the time. That's not my fault. That's your choice.
Mm-hmm. And I
That
don't
was
owe
great.
you an explanation. You know what you did.
Jason, where can people find you on Twitter and across the internet?
You can find me on Parler on the username 2A4Life. I'm on MySpace, where I write an article about Wyvern finance. Wyvern-backed Magic cards are the best Magic cards there are, because they're fallen empires, and they had High Tide in that set. That's pretty good.
Is the bit that you're all terrible at introducing yourselves today?
Yeah, you've
Listen,
never asked us to do this, and now you're being punished.
What introducing ourselves on a audio format podcast is what? Is somebody gonna pull over and quickly type in the words we say when I say this? The second O is a 0. Like nobody's going to remember our
steering
Twitter
with his knees while he types Jason E. Alt into Twitter.
Yeah, like if they're going to interact with our brand, they're going to do it either A through YouTube, which that's cool. Then they can just click a button that JJ put in the description.
Where do they click the button though?
Finger blast
Right,
that
it's
bell
just
icon.
button, and then every time I say button with that enunciation, he just flashes it on the screen.
Jason, where would they go to finger blast the bell icon?
YouTube.
Jesus.
You wanted me to say youtube.com/brainstorm brewery, and you know what? I'm not gonna.
Me saying you can find me at X and Y, we have technology. There's a Twitter profile called Brainstorm Brewery, and then you just there's a series of beautifully articulated and designed links and buttons and stuff that I made.
This is year 10 of this podcast. Where can people find you? Year 10 of your podcast.
Well, everybody, I'm Corbin. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about some stuff this week. We've got the news we want to start with is here on Brainstorm Brewery, we like to keep you appraised of all the latest Secret Lair news. Because as we all know,
appraised or apprised?
I was one of those. And as we all know, Secret Lair is life. Secret Lair is love. Secret Lair is the only way we should consume Magic products, right? You have to always have the newest Secret Lair. So
I was mad that they were sort of cutting out the secondary market, but Secret Lairs are just free money, and the finance community is allowed to buy them. We can buy as many as we want.
Well, to that end, a survey that Wizards of the Coast recently put out asked people how they would feel if they were given the opportunity to purchase a membership. So the survey question was this: suppose Wizards of the Coast were to offer a Secret Lair subscription program. Subscription here means an agreement to pay for and receive one of each secret lair drop. You could have more than one subscription. For each subscription, you receive one of each new drop when it's released. It's shipped free, and subscribers' drops always ship first. When a new drop releases, you would be billed for the price of the drop. You could cancel or change at any time. They gave people the option. They surveyed them for $99 a year. The opportunity to purchase 4 exclusive member drops. And then another for $200 a year, which included a discount. So it's essentially Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
Secret Lair Prime.
No.
With
It's
exclusives.
This is OnlyFans. It's
Okay.
only for the fans of Secret Lairs. It's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you can purchase 4 exclusive secret lairs and the only people that have access to those are the other people that paid the premium, I think it's a fine idea. I know that's probably going to be unpopular in the community, but like for someone like me that just buys secret lairs and resells them for more than I got them for, it doesn't really matter to the people that just buy singles for me, right? Like nothing changes for them. I'm just making more money because I have access to these secret lairs that cost a little bit more. So if they do go through with this, it'll be unpopular and I will be somebody with multiple subscriptions.
It's one of those things where I think this would work very well if they did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also very much towing a line of ethics in marketing, I think. I don't know. Subscription loot boxes are, I do think that they toe a line here in terms of, like...
It's a Fortnite technique, and Wizards wants to be an esports so bad that they're pivoting from trying to be Hearthstone to trying to be Fortnite.
Well, like, there's also, like, we don't have a release schedule. There's no, like, consistent, like, every month you get, like, on the first of every... Even with those kind of, like, marketing subscriptions, like, you know what you're getting every month from these, and this is just like, yeah, we might come out with 16 secret lairs in a month like that one Valentine's Day one, and then you're on the hook for all of them. Whee! Like, what it...
Do you think it would save, like, do you think it would save people money, Jason? Like, look at it not from your perspective, but from the perspective of somebody who wants to get one of the secret lairs.
If you want every secret lair, it saves you money. Almost nobody wants every secret lair unless they're buying them to resell. So from a player's perspective, this is bad, but like this isn't for players, and that's who's mad at it.
Well,
This
is absolutely for players.
What if you're a player who wants to buy
this
whichever
is designed
one is
to get,
deemed
like,
an
players to
exclusive?
buy the secret lairs they don't want.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not good for them. Is what I'm saying. It's
So what if what if you're a person who wants one of the 4 that is exclusive to people in the membership?
Then you buy
program?
it from me.
So then that person has just had the price of a secret lair raised on them in the next year. Because either they have to pay for the membership to buy the one they want, or they have to buy it from you for more than it would have cost them.
Are you just
2020.
discovering the concept of capitalism?
I mean, it's interesting to me that you're so fully on board here, I guess. I wouldn't
Like,
this
there's
is pretty
capitalism.
predatory, man. Like,
There's capitalism, and then there's pushing capitalism to the late stage of capitalism. Like,
This is who's
Yeah,
this
this is pretty
predatory toward,
predatory.
though? This is 100% optional.
yeah.
it is optional, and the FOMO is a very, very effective marketing tactic that is predatory towards, like, people who are I don't know
More prone to
Listen,
that impact
fellas,
in their
this
life
is an
negatively.
MTG Finance podcast. You asked my opinion as an MTG financier. As an MTG financier who just buys secret lairs to sell them for more money than I paid for them, this is good. Is it good for the player base? I don't know. They seem to be pretty upset by the mere concept of being asked about it, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not great for them. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's going to piss a lot of people off, and having to pay more for the secret lair for me is going to piss them off, but...
Yeah. Yep. It's
I mean, like they've already had so many distribution problems and like logistical issues with worldwide shipping.
well, that's a lot of
And
code,
then when your
but-
shit's late, they send you a bunch of free shit to apologize, which is
Not
great.
always. Not always.
Okay.
Like for the Fetchland ones, the Secret Lair fetches, a lot of those came in MPHP, and you just got like a meh happens, like they were curled to the point of unusability, and there were no foil uncut sheets as rewards for those.
Oh, so yeah, I'm talking if there were like distribution issues. That is your card curl, but they're like Magic cards do that now. That's why they sort of.
Well, like there was also a lack of recompense for the distribution errors. Like Max Khan, we've had him on the podcast before. One of his Theros Secret Lairs was like 7 or 8 months later, something like that, and he got it eventually. But that was what he got. Was it eventually?
I've heard different and maybe it's from people who bought a lot, and that's where they're like, oh, we better keep this person happy. So like, I don't know what the experience of people that buy one or two of them has been like, but they've kind of hooked people up if they bought a lot.
I haven't bought any.
The
So
only Secret
maybe I
Lair
should
that I've
have.
purchased was a giant boatload of the Walking Dead ones, and
Did you make money?
yes.
So like, if
there's
I'm
also
paying $200 per subscription for $50 each to buy these secret layers, you gotta imagine you're gonna get more than a $50 markup on those. So like, and even if you only break even on the other ones, it's fine. You've got stuff to sell, because I like selling stuff. So like, even if I break even, which I won't, but even if I break even on the other stuff, I got stuff to sell, and then I have $50 built into the cost of the 4 secret, which isn't great.
Right.
No, it wasn't even 200. They said 100.
there were options for 100 and 200.
There were
If
different
200
scaling-
came with a 10% discount.
But this is also assuming things go according to plan, assuming their logistic schedule is consistent. Like,
Well, I'll say
if you-
this:
if
I
you
don't
toss $200 towards a subscription, and then they say, "Sorry, your super secret one is 8 months late." Then like your ROI is awful.
I wouldn't hate having Secret Lairs. I'd probably pay for them to just auto bill me and ship me. So I wouldn't lie.
If it's good enough for my furnace filter, it's good enough for like.
I wouldn't mind having them just show up at my door. I mean that's actually worth it. I mean, that's like a really
some of them
lazy
are awful,
tactic,
and I don't
but-
like them, and that's the problem. Some of them are
Yeah.
terrible, and some of them that I think are terrible, other people think are great. So the fact that like you're expecting like the average player who loves the tattoos and hates the birds, and loves the Seb McKinnon and hates The Walking Dead, you're expecting that person to buy all of them. That's not going to work. So this subscription model is just for people like me. So they're basically asking, how whaley are the whales? And I'm fairly whaley. Call me Frank Whaley, baby.
I probably
like it's
won't
Pulp
do
Fiction. I'm Frank Whaley.
that. No, I probably won't do that. But I mean, that's the way Magic has clearly continued to go and will continue to go. So I think you're certainly right about that. I know something you won't be right about though, and that's my breaking bulk.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
Ooh.
My breaking bulk, and there's a couple options, so I may give you credit for more than one here, but it's a top 5 most expensive uncommon in dark steel, colorless.
Dark Steel
This is a top 5 card of uncommons in dark steel.
Is it a station?
I don't think those are this set.
I believe all the stations were 5th on.
They were all 5th Dan? Okay. Is it an equipment?
Yes.
Sure Strike Trident.
No, but that is a very good guess because that card I picked today, and that's actually the 6th most expensive uncommon in the set. But I was shocked to learn that card was $1. But no, that's not top 5.
Oh, is it the mask thing?
It is. It's Nemesis Mask.
Yeah.
So
I thought
Nemesis
that was Fifth Dawn. Didn't DJ pick Nemesis Mask in the last 6 months? No, Mask of Avacyn, maybe? I don't know. This feels recycled to me. Whatever. Good pick, you got us.
Us?
Yeah. Yeah, you got us.
I guessed it.
You guessed it. You didn't know. You didn't know. You guessed.
That's the format of the show. You say, what is X?
You had no idea. You said with a question mark, not a period.
I think Jason's been doing a bit the whole episode.
He's a bit fucking annoying.
You're just a bit mad that you guessed.
Oh my gosh! All right, Jason, why don't you try next then?
All right, fellas. This is a black card from a set called Icaria, Lair of Behemoths.
Heartless Act.
Nope. Ha.
It's the
You said that with a
enchantment
period, even though you were guessing.
It's the enchantment that comes in and gives you a token, and then all your stuff dies and drains them.
Yep.
Bastion of
it's
Remembrance.
Base tie-on of Remembrance. Bastion of Remembrance makes a dude and then taketh away, and you get some
The card's
damage
very
triggers.
good.
It's a good card. It's a little harder to remove than, say, Blood Artist.
Just Jason, you want to know why I guessed that one?
Because it's the only expensive black card from Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths.
No, because it's a recycled pick.
Of mine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's why I'm picking it again. You know what? No, this would have been a good segue into our next segment, but
This is incredible.
DJ still
Go
has
on.
to go.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
This was
here's a sneak
completely
preview of our
recycled.
next segment. This card matters again.
Card wasn't recycled, Jason. You got man.
What?
do you mean?
Yes, it was. I'm on the 2020 spreadsheet.
What year is it?
Oh. Bro, I was looking at 2021.
What year is it? DJ?
Jason,
it
when you accused Corbin's pick of being recycled, you gave him a time window that extended back into 2020 of being recycled.
That is true. DJ is technically correct here. I have to side with him.
Oh boy.
Got him counter.
Got him. Right there.
God, we need a long-term got him counter on this podcast.
We
Just
need
like a little
a
sound effect and
we
like an
don't-
emo.
what we actually need is a soundboard that just like got him every time.
Oh, we're gonna
yeah.
Jim Cramer this, just like
Yeah, dude. You know, we could like, what's his show? Fast
Merger
Money.
Monday,
Something like that.
Merger Monday, Merger Monday.
DJ, what's your breaking ball?
I have a green Ravnica City of Guilds rare. Same set as Dubling Siazin, as Jason would call it.
Chord of Calling.
No, that card has, interestingly enough, never
Is
been
it
pulled.
Vinelasher Kudzu?
That's a good guess, but no.
Is it Phytohydra? No, that's green and white, isn't
I mean, it's technically green, but no.
it? Is it not a creature?
It is a creature.
Is it Hunted Troll?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's got reprints.
Does it?
Yeah, I think that's in a precon. Hunted Troll makes 4 flying fairies.
Oh, you're
and
right. It was in the Naya C13 deck. You're right. And then it was in the list. The
All right.
list. It was
The
in the
list.
list. God, what an awful
while
set name.
we're on the subject, though, I this is not exactly breaking bulk, but I do want to quiz Jason first.
Why?
Jason, what's a Talisman of Progress worth?
Talisman of Progress is $5.
DJ, what's a Talisman of Progress worth?
This is a trick question. Are you asking me what, like, because I can answer what I sell it for, and it's not that.
DJ told me what he sells them for, and I was like, do I pick my cards again? Because
Yeah, I believe the TCG player low for Talisman of Progress is somewhere in the 5 to 7 range. I generally get 15s or 16s for them on direct, maybe close to 20 sometimes.
The market price of the card is $12. Yeah. I was looking at Breaking Bulks, and I did a double take. I would have said $5. It probably too. So
Yeah, it's because the non-direct and the direct average out generally.
but like that's wild.
Everything's nuts right now.
That's something. All right, before we get into our next topic, we want to give a shout out to our friends over at originalmagicart.store. It is the place to go for all of your magic art needs, be it prints, playmats, if you want to get some of the newest art that's coming out, if you want to be able to support the artists by purchasing their work in some way. Original Magic Art is the best way to do it, and you can use the promo code BrewCrew at checkout to support us here as well. So we really want to encourage everyone to go look at that website. There's incredible pieces on there. It's something that every time I actually take the time to look at the art, I'm like, wow, I actually really love this in a way that if I'm just looking at the cards, I don't really view them that way. So originalmagicart.store is where you want to go if you want to go give some great art a second look and support some artists. All right. So Jason, I think you mentioned you wanted to go back something about Bastion of Remembrance.
Yeah, if we'd planned ahead, we could have linked the segments up a little bit better, but we didn't, so we didn't, and it's fine.
We are an organic podcast.
We're
That's right,
keeping
things
the
happen.
integrity of Breaking Bulk alive. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. This isn't pre-planned, so we can get each other with a guessing game where we get shit for guessing. Bastion of Remembrance is a card that I picked, and apparently I've picked it in the last 12 months, sue me, because the number one commander, as reported by EDH Rec, your source for Recs and EDHs, they have both those things, edhrec.com. Wreck your deck before you wreck your deck. .com.org. Extus Orc Overlord is the number one commander so far, which 3 times as many as Beladros Witherbloom, which is number 2. So Extus, the commander on the front, the sorcery on the back, is very popular, and Bastion of Remembrance figures heavily into the plans of that deck. So when I went to EDH Rec, which I always do when a set is new, I took a look at what's in Extus and what could pop off, and I think if you have Bastion of Remembrance, because it's recent enough that like you probably have it in Draft Chaff and like, unsorted boxes of cards, you just like, I bought a booster box, I took out the rares I wanted, just threw all the crap in a box. Go through that box, you probably have Bastion of Remembrance, and they're closing in on $1, and there'll be more later. So with that in mind, I kind of wanted to talk about the stuff for Strixhaven that is sort of emerging as more played than we thought it was going to be. And right away, Archmage Ametrius is in the top 10 most played cards in the set. Its Magecraft is when you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, draw a card. Solid 4-mana 2/2. I really didn't expect that to get played as much as it is. I know Alex Kessler on our set review, go check that episode out, might have liked this card a little bit more than me. I do like I get to say Ametrius, but other than that, I wasn't that thrilled by this card. So the fact that it's in like a full 20% of the decks containing blue registered so far, was a little bit surprising to me, but it goes in Quandrix and Prismari, so I guess that makes sense. Prismari Command is by percentage the most included card. A full 20% of all the decks running blue and red have one of these in there. Okay. This is new decks, so you're probably building around some of the new commanders, maybe Uvilda and Nasari. Maybe you're building around Rutha, Mercurial Artist, or maybe you're building around Galazeth Prismari or the red-blue guy from the Precon that I don't know the name of.
God, there's too many commanders nowadays. You can just say words and people will tune out. Like, you can just say, like, name, comma, like, adjective.
It's
like
25 new names every 3 months. It's too much. It's too much. Stop putting so many goddamn... Not every creature in the set needs to be legendary. Just stop with all the commanders. Just let me build one deck every 3 months. Not 10. Stop it.
I can just without brag flocks, Arc School Converter. That's probably a card, right? I just made words. I made sounds.
I'm looking that up. What is Bragflux? Yep, he's Prismari, as I thought. Look, they're out of fucking ideas, too. You can tell they're out of, like, stop doing so many because you are out of ideas. You have a legendary book called Cody the Codex. You're out of fucking ideas at that point. There's a book that's also a man, and he's called Cody the Codex. Stop with all the legendary creatures. Take a break. Let the story catch up to where you are. Not every set needs literally 30 new legendary creatures. That's too much. Every couple of months. Plus the EDH decks. The Year of Commander has continued unabated.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for that.
Hey, I'm Bookie McBookface. Come on, the Strixhaven stuff has to go to the printers in 15 minutes, and we still are short 5 legendary creatures. All right. Fuck. They're dragons. 5 of them. Perfect. What are they called? Doesn't matter. No one's gonna read them. Okay.
Just reach into a Scrabble
Something on my book.
Yeah.
We got a book here. Bookie. His name's Bookie the Book. Okay, not Bookie the Book. Have it be like Bookie the Book, but not that stupid. And they're like, all right, I got it. I will change the name of Bookie the Book to something way less stupid. Don't worry about that. And then they got the stuff to the printers just in time for it to run through the curling machine.
They needed one more Planeswalker to check off the box. And they're like, shit, Luca's dog died last time. We gotta get him a new one. Double-faced card.
Here's what they really need to stop doing is colorless creatures that are colorless but have all 5 mana symbols in their color identity. Stop that shit. Knock it off. It's lazy. Like, the first time he did it was cool. We don't need a Golos in every set. Stop it. Boy, I really hate Cody the Codex. It's a new Chromaticor. Oh, another 5 mana card. Interesting. Interesting. It's almost like I always hate the lazy design of 5 color cards. It's weird how that keeps happening by coincidence.
We found the one thing in Magic Jason truly feels strongly about. It wasn't 75%. It wasn't Commander. It wasn't Magic Finance. It was Cody the Codex.
If I saw that on Custom Magic, I would downvote and report that post. If my daughter said, I created a new Magic card, Dad, you like Magic so much, here, it's Bookie the Book, and I'd be like, I'm holding you back. You can't go to kindergarten yet. You need another year of preschool. Like, I realize you're 5, but...
Is that what
Bookie
Aaron
the
Forsyth does to the junior designers?
Bookie the Book shows such a profound lack of imagination. I'm going to need you to repeat preschool. If you noticed a really abrupt cut there, that was because I said some stuff that we don't necessarily want everybody to hear about Cody the Codex. If you would like the full unedited Cody the Codex rant, that's something you can access by going to patreon.com/BSB and pledging at the $20 level, which will give you access to these handsome drinking glasses, playmats, all kind of stuff. You can have access to the spreadsheet where we put the picks of the week and the breakings bulk in the moment we podcast, so you can have all that stuff days before everybody else. We think that if you want to give our Discord a try, use pledge at the $1 level, which is only 20 or 25 cents an episode. And we think once you give the Discord a try, you will see all the other benefits you get for subscribing. We think you'll up your pledge. And we would just like to thank you for listening to this podcast and for being curious about what else I said about Cody the Codex behind closed doors. So that's something you can access at the $20 level, patreon.com/BSB.
Thank you, Jason, for that.
We get asked reasonably often if we can do a live podcast as a reward. That's a good example of you not knowing what you want. Like, that's some, like, Jason's kid asking if she can have candy every day for dinner, and it's like, you think you want that, but then you don't get to have the burgers that I grilled as a dad, and yeah, like, you're the Liliana in that situation, and
Yeah, it's just I had this conversation with someone the other day actually, and who did a live show for their cast, and I was like, yeah, I just wouldn't put Jason in front of a live studio audience, which is ironic considering he's a stand-up comedian, but nonetheless, I just wouldn't do it. Yeah, it's like it's the call of the void or whatever, right? Jason's like, what is the one thing I should absolutely not do? It's drink and get nervous in front of people and talk to fill time. What could go wrong? I know what I'll do. I'm going to be a comedian.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I revert to my training? Oh. How uncharacteristic of a human being to fall back on what always works. Goodness. What a character flaw.
DJ, read the email, please.
And another reward of being a $20 patron is that you can put $20 patron in your email title. Tends to stand out. From Everett Brogan, hey guys, gotta ask, how often have you been buying bulk during the pandemic, and if the old Craigslist methods still work, or if people simply aren't selling like they used to? Sincerely, EV the Mage, sent from my iPhone after eating way too must sushi.
Yeah, the sushi messed up the typing on the iPhone.
You didn't have to point that out. This guy gives us $20 a month. You're like, ha, you made a common typo from your autocorrect. Idiot. Take
That's
that.
more of a jab at Apple than anybody else. Alright, so I have been buying zero bulk during the pandemic. I actually sold off an entire basement's worth pretty much, I think it was a couple months in, around May or June or so. But I just shipped it all, planning on buying a house soon, so that was a factor in it. And I did not want random strangers coming to my door and coughing on me during this time.
Yeah.
I am open to buying bulk once I get settled down again, and once we find a house, everything goes back to not normal, but you know what I mean. And yeah, like I'm still open to buying and selling bulk on Craigslist. It's just another avenue for me to churn income and make money and get rid of stuff out of my house, and just recruit new customers. I mean, there's several local players who have been buying from me for 2 or 3 years, where our initial meeting was, I played this game 20 years ago. I saw your ad on Craigslist. Give me 7,000 magic cards to dirtle with. And then they buy them and they play with their friends. Then the arms race happens, and then they start asking for dockside extortion. It's just slippery slope.
I have been buying from stores that have not had in-store play and are eager to get rid of some stuff they're sitting on, especially if they are not stores that have in-store play. I have not really been buying from people. I have really not been getting close to people. I've been socially distancing pretty hard, so I'm not meeting randoms on Craigslist like I used to, or Let Go, or Facebook Marketplace.
There's a couple things to say here, which is that that means that could be an opportunity if you're somebody who is in an area where generally people follow safety protocols or whatever else. If you're in a high vaccinated area, you can maybe you can start to ease your way back into making those types of deals. The couple of transactions that I've had have involved selling bulk, and it's just a parking lot. Get out of my car, mask on, take the cards to your car, drop them in your trunk, and that's it. It's an outdoor meeting, right? So I have not gone into a store to do any kind of dealings since it all began. So I think a lot of it right now is that a lot of stuff was sold off at the beginning, and if it hasn't been sold off at this point, as people sort of get back-ish to on the path to normal, it's probably not going to be sold right now. But give it another couple months as people start getting back into going into stores and all of that sort of thing. Once we hit the summer, I think there could be a real, we're going to see the Magic market, I think, just open up. And that's going to mean a lot of cards moving hands and a lot of bulk being available.
I mean, there's definitely an advantage to being like the first bear to come out of hibernation, or whatever whatever weird DJ metaphor you want to bring to this tonight. But it's kind of like, I have a friend who moved to Texas recently, and
he has COVID now.
Well, there was that ice storm. There was the giant freeze over of Texas and Oklahoma last month, and he was the only person who was willing to just go out and drive in it because he moved there from upstate New York.
Yeah.
And so he just hit every Target and bought all the Pokemon cards.
He's just doing handbrake turns on bald tires like, this ain't shit!
It's like, I am immune. I'm the one who can just go to every Target and buy all the shock voltage or whatever the set was. So
Yeah.
That's how Corbin got his vaccination. People were canceling their appointments. You're willing to drive in a little bit of ice, and you only got in one car wreck the one time you went out, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, worked out great. Of course. Well, let's hopefully that answers your question anyway. I mean, I think that the general takeaway is that there's a lot of regional differences. There's a lot of differences person to person, even community to community, as far as Magic goes. So I think that everything's going to probably explode in a couple months and there'll be some opportunities, but I wouldn't expect a lot of the older methods to work now. It's sort of like, have you tried to, get an Airbnb or something recently? People's behavior during the pandemic has just changed and some things just aren't really there as much. So I think that kind of sums it up. All right, well, let's move on then to our picks of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
I'm not doing the whole song.
No one wants to, you get the rest of it. Yeah.
I will go first because this is a fun little one that goes back to my roots as a green-black player. Roots of Life.
Okay.
It's a Mirage enchantment. Yeah, you better laugh at my pun.
Is that because it's the
Life.
only Mirage card that isn't $25 right now?
It's only like 25 cents right now, which is why I really like it. It is a 3-mana enchantment. When you play it, you choose islands or swamps. Whenever a land of the chosen type that target opponent, quote, quote, they did errata this, so it works for each opponent. Whenever a land of the chosen type that any opponent controls becomes tapped, you gain a life. This works very well with a lot of the Witherbloom stuff that says whenever you gain a life, do the thing. So you can do some Sanguine Bond-esque shenanigans. You can just all those whenever you gain life triggers of put a counter on a guy, or your opponent loses a life, or you draw cards. All those sort of green-black effects. You play this, you choose swamps, or you could choose islands if you're sitting at a table full of degenerates, but generally you will play this when you have Urborg in play and you will laugh.
No arguments here, and all the stuff from Mirage that's on the reserve list is just one of those things where everyone just kind of said, well, we got STEM money now, and we got all kind of this Bitcoin money, and we got all these game stonks, bucks, burning a hole in our pocket. I told people not to buy stuff on the reserve list just because it was on the reserve list, because it would take an enormous amount of capital to just buy enough of those copies to move things, but people were bored and rich enough to do it. So now if you have that stuff, now all of a sudden, Army of Allah from Arabian Nights in beat up condition is $12. Like this just stuff is, now's the time to have that stuff. So like, I guess when we were telling you like not to buy that stuff, I just kind of thought this would never happen because it would take so much effort and the conditions would have had to be perfect, and the pandemic plus, everybody's house gaining 40% in value just all sort of came together to let people buy enough copies of Catacomb Dragon to get there. So you guys did it. Congrats. You made bulk rares. You made unplayable cards like Sands of Time from Visions, a card you don't even know what it does. You made it go up by buying all of them when dealers are not in a position to restock them. So great. So if there's any card in those sets that's on the reserve list that hasn't gone ridiculous yet, I don't know. Maybe get in before it pops. But I have a pick also. This is again predicated on Extis, Auric Overlord. This is a card called Ranger Captain of Eos. Ranger Captain of Eos could get some not splash damage, a splash buff, I guess, from Modern coming back other formats also play this card, and they buy them in multiples. Ranger Captain of Eos is a card from Modern Horizons 1, a set that's finally starting to become worth what it's actually worth. If people do start playing Modern again, Corbin has informed me this card isn't really played in Modern, but like
it's not. I mean, it's played some. It's just not heavy played. But go on. Yeah.
But it is a 4 of in any deck that plays it. Probably at least it's a multiples of. So
sure.
All that is just context to like. Also, it's getting played more in EDH. So I think all of those factors. This under $20 seems like a pickup to me. But there's not actually a ton of good stuff in the Exodus deck. If you go to the Exodus page, it's a lot of like stuff that was already expensive and stuff that's 25 cents. So I don't know, man. Do you want to buy Pitiless Plunder at 6 and hope it goes to 10 as an uncommon? Do you want to buy Fury Storm at $5? Actually, Fury Storm's probably not bad in the Exodus deck, but there, bonus pick of the week. But what I'm saying is, the Exodus is the most popular deck right now, and it's a little bit kind of optimized. The only real opportunity I saw was Ranger Captain, but you can go to edhrec.com and go to the page for Exodus and make sure to look as a commander, not as a card. And you can look at what's in that deck list, and you can tell me if there's anything you think you see that there's opportunity to make some money on.
Well, I'm going to throw a card out that I don't know if it would be related to any of that. Commander, it's probably not. But Electro Dominance is what I'm going to go with at $3 out of Ravnica Allegiance. There's been a lot of speculation that, as Modern powers up, as they keep printing more cards, that they're going to print more cheap spells, and things like Electro Dominance has enabled the free spell deck in Modern since it's printing, and it's gone from about $2.50 to $3 over the past couple months. So it looks like it's probably going to spike, and we looked, and there are Ravnica Allegiances. There are some expensive cards from that set, some expensive rares. So I think there is room for it to grow even as a rare in a fairly recent set. But I'm a big fan of Electro Dominance at $3 right now. It looks like it's probably primed to go to at least $5 and then, move up from there depending on what happens in Modern.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that does it for us this week, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you for dealing with Jason's insane rant. I think we're going to have to clip that one, put it out on YouTube. That sounds like a fun one. So you go look for that there if you want to relive it in its glory.
That's me, Ranty the Ranter. Wow,
well,
you can just
everybody,
come up with these on the fly. I must be very creative.
Thanks for listening, everybody. This is Brainstorm Brewery. We'll see you next week.
I've been joking McJokeface.
You, Corbin?
Get out of here.
Corbin, where can we
Get
find
out
you?
Of here. No,
where can you be found? Tell us. Tell us your socials, Corbin.
Podcast's over. Podcast is over.
Where
man.
can people? What makes Corbin
here.
Hostler tick? Tell us. What's a day in the life of Corbin Hostler like? Tell us. Who are you? What brings you joy as a person, Corbin? How do you unwind after a long, hard day, Corbin Hostler? This is all stuff we need to get out of the way before we can start the podcast. People need to know before they can get our finance advice.